All right, now on to the actual blogging part of it. There's two different things I want to show you when it comes to blogging, and there's kind of two different theories behind it. There's blogging for the search engines to be able to find you properly, and then there's blogging for your readers, your own personal style, your own personal sound, and you kind of need to find a happy medium between the two. So finding your own style and writing for your readers, that's going to come on to you, and that's going to something you're going to develop over time. But for actually writing for search engines and to hopefully get found and to get those initial readers in the first place, you need to write so that the search engines find you easier and you give them kind of what they're looking for. So that's what I want to go through first. I'm going to break this down into two different videos here. So what I've got is a pre-written article that I have for another client, not that I wrote, something that we can use as an example here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as the basis of optimizing a article on the web page in the very basic sense. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I'm going to create a new post here, and I'm going to show you all the different things that the search engines are looking for. So the first thing and the most important thing is going to be your title. This is everything. This is the first thing that people are going to see that's going to draw them into your page or your article or not, or is going to keep them from going in. Writing for the headline is really everything. If you Google that, you will find some great examples of headlines that work, that bring people in. You want to kind of stay away from clickbait, which is going to be the top 10 list of this, and number 7 blew my mind, or you won't believe what happened to so-and-so. You know, those things are too kitschy that try to get people to click into your article. You want to be a little bit more professional, a little bit more unique, but still have keywords in the title of your article. So this is a good example of a header. 3 reasons. So it's a number. People love to see numbers. It just kind of like, it breaks it down, lets them know what they're getting into. 3 reasons you should invest in maintenance repair for your furnace. Now this has everything that the search engines will need, and it has everything that I think for the most part people would need. 3 reasons, maintenance, repair, and furnace. Those are going to be kind of the key words in there that are going to draw people in, and again, provide substance for the search engines to know what this is about. So let's think about these articles as we go through the next couple steps here as being like a high school book report. This is the title of your book report. All right, so let's get into the other parts here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all this text that was from the article that was written. I'm going to go ahead and just paste it into here. Now, for the most part, this looks okay. I mean, it's just not real exciting. Everything is the same size, has the same distance, same color, all that kind of stuff. So what the search engines like to see, I should see an extra return there, is things using header tags. That's very, very important. These header tags are in here. And these, again, if you think along the lines of like a high school book report, these are the things that the heading 1 is the title of your book report. Heading 2 may be the title of a subtopic within that main title. And then as you go lower and lower, you can see each of these fonts get a little bit smaller, and header 3 is basically would be like a subheader of header 2, those kinds of things. So we really break down this stuff this way using these header tags. And what that does is it tells the search engines, okay, this is the main topic of the article. And then here are some main key points that are all titled header 2. And then things that relate to that header 2 would be considered a header 3 tag, and so on and so forth. Really, if you can have, usually by default, your title is a header 1 tag. Most themes will program it that way. If you can have 1 header 2 and maybe 2 or 3 header 3 tags, that'll be really good for the search engines. If you can add another one with a keyword or 2 in your header 4, that'd be great. I've really never used header 5 or 6, I don't think. I've never really gotten that deep into an article. But if you're planning on writing a deep, long article, that would be a great idea to do. So let's go ahead and read into here, and we can see, these little titles should be fairly short, so we don't really want to give it too much, too long of a sentence to give this header tag. But you do want to make sure whatever you choose is fairly short and also has your keyword in it. So let's say this whole article is about furnaces, so we want to make sure whatever our header 2 tag is going to be, because remember this is going to be our header 1 tag by default, whatever our header 2 tag is going to be has the word furnace in it. And this one actually works out really well because this kind of reiterates the 3 reasons schedule preventative maintenance and repair of your furnace. So that associates those same keywords. That'd be a great header 2 tag. Now, because this is the 3 reasons, the 3 reasons, I'm going to go ahead and, because those are basically bullet points, those are subheaders of this subheader right here, I'm going to go ahead and just give those header 3 tags. For one, so they stand out nicely for readers, but also so that the search engines will see those as being important and will probably contain some of my keywords. Not always. You don't want to overstuff it. You don't want to put too much of that into there, but you can see that this one has life of your furnace. So that's a great one. Lower your monthly utility bills. It's all part of what we're talking about up here. 3. Keep your family safe and good health. All right, so that's important too. It doesn't have the word furnace in it or preventative maintenance, but it kind of like all goes along with the rest of this. Again, you don't want to overdo it for the search engines. They will actually start to penalize you if you start to put furnace in every single thing here. So those are kind of best practices doing those. Now, a couple other little things you can do that's really going to help you out would be to link to other important articles. So let's say this is my very first post, which it really is, and I need to show some authority. I want to show that I'm actually helping people and providing links to relative resources that they can find. So just kind of reading through here for the first time, I can see manufacturer commands let's see. Oh, here we go. It's a perfect one. So here is something that may be very relevant to a reader, a recent research done by the EPA. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to open up a new tab and do a Google search for them. All right, so the EPA has their own link. I'm going to go ahead and just copy that link. And I'm going to add a link to this to show that, hey, I'm trying to help my readers by, if they don't understand what the EPA is, here's a link to what it is. So pay attention to this part because you can do this a couple different ways. I've got the text highlighted that I want to link to. I'm going to click on the link icon, and in here I can just paste my URL. So I've pasted that in there. But if somebody clicks on this right now, by default, this page is going to close and the EPA website is going to come up. I want to change that by clicking on this little gear right here and say open this up in a new window. So that way my website stays open and a new link opens up to the EPA website. So that's going to help keep readers on my site if they want to come back to it, but it's also providing good reference to resources that people could use to make my articles seem very helpful. If you have a couple of those that link out to other web pages that are very high, very relevant, very important websites, usually are going to be like Wikipedia links, links to the actual company or organization or whatever it is that you're writing about. Those tend to be very good links to link out to. Google looks at those as being authoritative links. So if you could do a couple of those, the other thing would be to link to other articles and pages on your website that are relevant. Now, I don't have any information on this website so far about HVAC stuff or about any kind of thing regarding this article. In fact, I really don't even have any other pages just yet. But if I did, I would link to those other articles. Like sometimes you may see someone may, after like a subheader area like this, may say related, and then I'll say like, XXX, whatever the name of the article is here, and the link to that article. So maybe I wrote another article about, maintenance repair for your hot water tank as opposed to furnace or something like that that people may find equally helpful. That also helps the search engines then see that link and then read through that and move over to that and maybe index that other article as well. So those are some of the top things to do for that. One other thing is going to be to have a relevant photo on your website that has some of this information on it. So what I'm going to do, for the sake of this, I'm going to just Google, I'm going to Google an image of a furnace. Now, you do not want to just go doing this and just throwing any old photo on your website, because that is copyright infringement. This is, you are not given rights to do that. But what you can do is maybe go to Google at images, and you can go into the tools, and you can check on the usage rights here and say labeled for reuse or reuse with modification. So I'm going to say, okay, so this was actually labeled that I could reuse this. It's a little bit of a gray area here, but sometimes this works. So here's one. Okay, this is a Flickr, so I can use this. So I'm going to grab that image, and I'm going to add that photo to my website. So let's say maybe that's going to be my featured image, and I'll also put it in the article itself here. So I'll say add media. I'm going to do a couple things. So I've got this image over here, and it comes in with this crazy number. I'm going to rename it to just furnace maintenance. So having a good relevant name helps in the search results. I'm going to add that to my media manager. All right, so that's added over there. But one other thing I want to do down here is at least in the alt text, explain what that photo is. That's basically telling the search engines what your photo is. Without a good alt text, search engines don't know what an image is. They can't see things. They can just read text, they can understand text, but not images. So if I add some alt text of furnace maintenance, and maybe even add that as a caption or description, I want this to be a full-size image. So I'm going to select that down there. Alignment, I could have this go to the left or to the right. I'm just going to say none. And then that's good right there. So I'll say insert that into my post, and we should see our image appear right in here. You can see that it added the caption. And all these things are great for the search engines. They're going to look at this and say, oh wow, he's got links, he's got header tags, he's got an image with an alt tag and a description. This is a well-optimized article. I could also just kind of click and drag and make that a little bit smaller there. And so I'm going to add this to uncategorized for right now. I want to do one other thing. I'm going to add my featured image. And okay, so good. So let's say I was like, you know what, this article rocks, I'm totally cool, I'm going to publish it. And let's see what it comes back with here. All right, so it published my article. I'm happy with it, but as I look over here, it's telling me that the readability needs improvement and the SEO is not available. So in the next video, I'm going to go through these more advanced features here and show you some ideas of things you can do to improve those two things. All right, so where we left off, we have this great article that we wrote, but we looked over here into what Yoast SEO added and says, you know what, this is not very readable and there's no SEO available. So that's not good. So here, let's do this. Let's scroll down to the Yoast area and let's see what's going on here. So it's saying the readabilities, looks like a little unhappy face. All this up here, oh, we don't even have a meta description. We don't have a focus keyword. So you know what? I do know that my focus keyword, the keyword that I want this article to be about, is about furnaces. So let's try to keep it to like 1 or 2, at tops maybe 3 words. So I'll say furnace. All right, so it's giving me kind of an okay face right now. Is there anything else I could use in here? No, you know what, that's okay. So at least I've got a focus keyword, but this area right here I definitely need to fix. So let's edit this snippet area. This is what's going to show up in the search engines. So I'm going to click on that. Kind of okay with the title, but you know what, I really don't want site title, separator, page. Let's get rid of some of these up here. In fact, let's go ahead and let's call it I'm just going to copy that down into there. So this is my title now. This is all in the green, so that means it's a good length. It has good keywords in it. I'm good with that. The slug, this is actually what your URL is going to be. So you can see that's all right up here. It's all the same thing going on up there. I don't need a lot of these kind of filler keywords in here. So let's go ahead and just remove any kind of unimportant keywords. So furnace, repair, maintenance, invest, and get rid of all this. 3 reasons. Well, I'm getting kind of an orange bar down here, so let's add a couple words back in. You should invest. Okay, so that's good, giving me a green bar, so that's good. Oh, I went into the wrong spot. 3 reasons. Oops. Start that over. This is your slug area right here. Let's get rid of some of those unimportant words. So furnace, repair, maintenance, invest, and then 3 reasons. Good. Now the description. So we have no description right now. Let's go ahead and pull down maybe what our H2 tag was. Let's see if that's enough words. We want to make sure that our keywords in this description. So right now I'm getting the green bar, so that's a good length. I know the word furnace is in there good. And actually, you know what? That just changed my focus keyword to green. So that means I've used it properly in the header, in the slug, and in the meta description here. And that it's appearing, in a proper number of times. If I look over here, my SEO is good, but I still got the readability needs improvement. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to save this by saying update. I'm going to do one other thing here. Now you don't have to do this because this is a paid piece of software that I use. Not endorsing it in any way. I'm sure there's other great options out there, but it's this app called Hemingway. And what it does is allows you to put the copy, or any copy, you can just even start writing from it, and it's going to color code the text as being either difficult to read or maybe there's better words to use. Let's go ahead and take a look at it here. So where'd my... Alright, so here's my original article. I'm just going to copy all this. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the Hemingway app, and I'm going to paste it in there. And now we can see that it's actually color coding this stuff. But the most important thing is, what grade readability is this right now? So right now, this is saying that this is like 10th grader language. You kind of want to aim for like anywhere from 3rd grade to 5th grade. I'm surprised to see that this saying aim for 9th grade is being okay. But it's showing you areas that you can improve this stuff. So anything that's in the dark red, it says they're very hard to read. This kind of yellow area, they're just kind of hard to read. This kind of more pinkish purplish area phrases, there's some alternatives, so it's going to give me alternative text to use here. Passive voice, green I don't worry too much about, we can take a look at. And then adverbs, it just depends. So let's say, okay, so I can come over here and see some of the smaller ones. It'll give me so let's say adverb, use a forceful word. I can either just omit the word or leave it the way it is. But that's not going to make sense to delete that word, so I'm going to keep that one. But what I can do is I can go through all of this. So here's a good example. So here's one that has similar alternatives. Maximum may be considered kind of like a big word. So we'll say the greatest word. It gives me options to fill in that blank. Complex, greatest. Now it would not make sense to get rid of that. So in addition, maybe say also. So maybe I just don't need that complex of a word. Just, so be bold, don't hedge. It's telling me that, you really don't need to say just. So power to, instead of just do that, we can say omit the word and just do that. So what this is going to do is it's going to slowly start to take the grade level readability of this text down. And once I do that and fill it in, it's going to make this part more readable. And the search engines, believe it or not, actually look for that kind of readability and will rank your page kind of based on how well it's written. So be careful. Take time to write your article well. Write it for the lowest grade level that you can. Try to use simple words. Make sure that you're using your header tags. Try to add relevant links to external and internal pages. Add a photo that is relevant to the content. Give it maybe a description. At minimum, give it alt text. And that's really some of the best things that you can do to improve the search engine optimization of your article. All right, so one other thing I wanted to cover with article writing. Now, it depends on the type of blog, I guess, that you have. If this was something that was very personal to me and talked about my experiences while I was out snowboarding or doing whatever, then I would just be the writer on the website. I would not have anybody else come on. But let's say this is a news site. I want to write everything about sports, but I need someone to write business articles and lifestyle articles and all that kind of stuff. And we saw where you could add a user and you could add their role and change that so they could help contribute to the website. You could add editors and things like that. But where do you find those people? I mean, you don't really want to just go knocking on doors and asking people if they want to write for your blog. There are places where you can go to find articles and writers and great content, people who are very good at specific things too, specific industries or types of writing styles, or if they're good for writing SEO articles. So the two places I kind of go for that is on the lower end side, I would say iWriter. That's a good place to find decent articles. What you can do here is you deposit some money into your account, and then you can order content. So I could say this, this is good for like a 1 or 2 kind of article at a time kind of thing. So I would give my article a title, say, look, I need someone to write an article about cloud computing or whatever. I know nothing about that. I want to find someone who can. So I'm going to give the article a title, cloud computing in the future. I don't know, whatever. And do I want this from a template? No. Okay, so you can set up templates for people to be able to come back to. What would you like? I would like an article as opposed to a rewrite, or have someone write an ebook for you. What type of business or industry is this article about? Is this a thing about pets, or about food and drinks, or medical, whatever? You're going to find people who can write specifically to certain types of categories better than others. You get one keyword that you can focus on. So in the last example, we had the furnace website. This could be an article about furnaces, so I want that to be the main focus of this article. So I can also say, how many articles do I want written? How long do I want the article to be? And what type of writer do I want? And this is kind of important. If you're just looking for something cheap and quick, sure, go for the standard or premium. But personally, I would, if you want to actually have some quality content on your website, I would go for an elite or elite plus writer. Those are the people who've been around here for a while, have really good reviews, and also start to boost the word count on your article. Now this is going to drive the price up. You can see right now for a 500 word article, for just a premium writer, you're going to pay about $6, which really is not bad. It's nothing. But a good article for the search engines to really take it as an authority type of article, you're going to want to be around at least 1,000, if not 2,000 to 3,000 words. And you're going to want to go for an elite writer. So that quickly kind of takes the price up. But again, it depends on what kind of blog you're looking for, what kind of quality content you're looking for. This could be just filler stuff, or maybe just someone to get the ideas going for you, and you would go in and edit it. Totally up to you, but it's a good place to start. Now here you can talk a little bit more about the project, what you're looking for, maybe give links to example articles that you're looking for them to write from. You can really fine tune it by getting into what's the objective of the article? Do I want to inform or motivate or engage? Those kinds of things. I can send it to specific writers. If I've been working here long enough, I may have a couple writers saved. I could always target them and say, hey, do you want to write this for me? And then basically you place your order, and then within, I'd say probably 24 hours at the most, it seems like, depending on how long your article is and how much research is required, you're probably going to get an email that says, hey, come check out your article. And what's great is you can go in, you can review the article, and if it's just absolutely horrible, you can reject it, get your money back, and have it reposted for someone else to write. You can request a rewrite, or you can just accept it and say, that's awesome. So again, this is good for onesie twosie kind of projects. Personally, I would go into something like Upwork, where people can, you can hire writers to do an ongoing basis. So you could give them, log into your website. You could say, hey, I want to have you write an article once a week about this and this and this. Everybody's going to be rated based on how well they've done in the past. So you can really start to sort out people that way. They're going to come to you first. You're going to put the job out there and say, hey, I need a writer for this on an ongoing basis. You're going to get 20, 30, 40 people all applying to your job. They're going to tell you how much they're going to charge you per article or per hour, and they're going to tell you what their experience is in writing certain things. They're going to give you examples of writing, and you can kind of feel them out. You can talk to them. You can do a little Skype chat or something like that. You can test them out on a 1 or 2 article basis. That's what I've done before. So this would be a great place for ongoing work, whereas iWriter was good more for a 1 article at a time kind of thing. Both are great options to find writers for your website. And again, remember just to come back and set them up with a specific level of user. Don't give them admin rights unless you absolutely need to. Add them as an author or a writer or contributor, and that'll get you where you need to be.